Right, hello there everyone. Most shameful night for Liverpool Football Club in their recent history has just commenced, where we lost 3-0 to Atalanta at home. And here's why we're not going to do the Barcelona comeback, or at least I certainly wouldn't think it's a high percentage. In the first leg of the Barcelona game, I'm telling you now, we played brilliantly. And there was optimism, there was room for optimism in that game to say, do you know what, based on that performance, based on the recent form that we'd shown at the time, we had every reason to believe we could come back against Barcelona. The development of the team was further than what this team's at. The squad depth of the team was brilliant. We had players like Gini Wijnaldum coming off the bench. We had players like Shaqiri, who's won a Champions League previously, to step in. Tonight, simply outclassed, outdone, outfought. Didn't want it as much as the opposition, didn't look like we were on the level of the opposition, didn't look like we had a game plan from when the lineup came out. Even the lineup that started should have won the game, but didn't win the game, because at the end of the day, it could have been the strongest 11. It was just the wrong approach. It was just a combination of what's been a few poor performances, which not only has opposition fans been calling out, but Liverpool fans have been calling it out too. But the thing is though, prior to February, these poor performances weren't so poor, and this is by far that. It's not only our poorest result, it's not only our poorest performance in recent time, it's probably this season, it's probably the poorest performance that we've had over the past 2 or 3 seasons, and it could have been 4 or 5-0. In fact, I'd say that's even generous, it could have probably been 6. And when you see chances like Jota, who couldn't even get the ball on target with the goal. Granted, he's just came back. I'm not having a go at Jota. I'm just simply saying, you know it's not your night. And based on that performance, there's no room to say that we're going to win 4-0 in Italy, or we're going to be able to go there and get any sort of quality results. That was terrible. It was disgraceful. It was shameful. And I can't believe that I've just watched that 90 minutes of football. And you're looking at somebody who's been very optimistic of this team this season. After the United draw, I said I was proud of the team. We had 30 shots on goal. It was just the case of the missed chances. I thought the manager set up the right way. We gifted United 1 goal, and then Kobe Manu got a great goal. There was no reason for me to think off the back of that result we were going to go and perform like that today. It was shocking. It was disgraceful. It was embarrassing. I don't want to be going online tonight. I don't want to be talking to anybody, because at the end of the day, being a football fan in these type of moments where you're in European quarterfinals and you're losing 3-0, and it's not even a Champions League quarterfinal, and it's not like you're playing a top European side. Atalanta have won one major trophy in their recent history, but how you go up against them without your strongest 11, and even if we had our strongest 11, which we did pretty much for the final 45 minutes, it wouldn't have made a difference. And for me, I'm really, really disappointed in this team today. And I'm only talking from the perspective, if I was their manager, I'm disappointed. If I was one of them, I'm heavily, heavily disappointed. I'd barely be able to sleep tonight, to be honest with you. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to go and hate on the players or slander them, but absolutely 100% categorically, as us as paying customers, we have our rights to be constructive, and everything I'm saying right now, outfought, outperformed, all these things, that is primarily constructive. So to anybody who wants to be upset with my approach in terms of not saying, oh, we're going to go and win 4-0 in the second leg, I've listed off 10 different reasons why that probably won't happen, and I don't think anyone would have the confidence to put a sufficient amount of money on that happening. The same way, I don't think anybody would have put a sufficient amount of money on us losing 3-0 to Atalanta, but that shows how poor the result was. That shows that the confidence and the lack of experience of this team being together is really, really showing at the moment. A lot of these players, it's their first season, or, you know, players like Joe Gomez who weren't regulars last season. It's a very new squad, and the development stage of this squad is very, very different to the team that did beat Barcelona 4-0. This has been shocking. This has been poor. There's no amount of injuries that you can sit there and blame this on. There's no amount of regular starters who didn't start that you can blame this on, because even when they came on, Salah, shocking, and you know, Salah's just the main one that stands out to me, but even other players who came on as well, absolutely appalling. And I just think overall cohesion non-existent, and the result itself, it's unfathomable. Like, I don't even see how you come back from that. I respect to the optimistic fans. I do think it's based primarily on delusion. When I was going with the quadruple shouts, again, it was based on the performances at the time, you know, the elements and the order of Jurgen Klopp leaving. But that is by far the worst way to go out, and I just don't think that we will come back in the second leg, to be dead honest with you. We need to be winning by 3 goals in the 90th minute. We need to then go to extra time. I just feel like we've cut ourselves way too short. If we scored a goal, then I'd have a different opinion. I think with no goal, you've got no chance. And that's just it for me. You know, there's no point in blaming any individual. There's no point in blaming you blame everybody equally, including Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp, the way he set up today was just terrible, appalling, and then the players just shit themselves at every single given opportunity. And for me, I can't even fathom how we even think about coming back from this game. I don't even think we can fathom beating Crystal Palace in this form. And I just think that right now, everything's over, everything's disappointed. The hope is that we can somehow continue our form in the league, where we're, before the United game, at least winning games and, getting a run together. But based on performances, there's no signs of encouragement. Based on signs that we've seen in recent weeks, there's no real inclination that we're going to be able to overturn 7 more Premier League teams and beat them, especially when you're playing against teams like Tottenham and Aston Villa. Now, let me say this. We definitely won't play as bad for the rest of the season, touch wood, than what we did tonight. But I will put this performance tonight not only up there with one of the worst performances Liverpool's seen this season, but one of the worst performances that any team in the Premier League or any team in Europe has seen this season. It was absolutely shocking, and it was poor, and the players didn't deserve to even be on the pitch tonight, in the same vein as those Atalanta players. Now, it's not just because we were crap. Atalanta was also very, very decent, but if you watch that game, if you were an Atalanta fan, you probably would in disbelief at how easy it was to counter-attack us, or to overturn our midfield, or to complete a pass, whereas the opposite was there for us. They were well compact, they were well set out, and they stuck to the game plan. And that is what they came to Anfield with. They came there with a game plan, and that was the way they left. They left with the game plan being executed perfectly. Whereas us, I don't feel like we even had one. Even there would have been one given, there's no way it was followed, and there's no way that it was the right one, because you can't be that far out. It's not just down to poor performances. The players lost their heads from minute one. So quite frankly, guys, there's no room for, oh my goodness, there's going to be a comeback. There's no room for that. There's just got to be a case of the players disappointing, the manager disappointing, and they're the primary blames for today's result. Let me know in the comments down below if you do think we're going to come back, but I will be honest with you, I do think you're primarily delusional, or that's your main source to hope that can even be a possibility. For me, I think that it's done. I think that we should really focus on the league as much as we can, winning those final 7 games, but I think even asking for that is a long shot based on recent performances. And every single person who has called me deluded, or oh my goodness, you're the one who you're right, because I've had a right to up to this point. We've been better than a lot of teams, and we've had so many players out, and so have other teams. Other teams have had loads of players out, but we're joint top, well, second place, but with the same amount of points as first place. So at the end of the day, I had a reason up until the United performance to sit there and say, do you know what? We're just result getters. It might not be the best performances, but not always do the best teams win the league. It can be a case of you just get really, really good results. And in recent weeks, we've let that go way too much. And I don't know how we quite necessarily... I think we've just been through too many squad adjustments with players coming out and in to where we can even find our feet in the final however many games, which I think now will be 8 games, because we've got the away leg against Atalanta. We've got 7 more games in the league. That season over for us. I really do believe that, and this will probably have a knock-on effect in the league. You hope it's the opposite. You hope it's like it's a resurgence. It makes you, want to do better in the league. But yeah, I think this could really end really badly based on today's performance. But hopefully, it's just a one-off. That's all you've got to hope. But you can't say it is. There's other games where we've played poor. There's other games where we've gave teams chances. Today was just a very, very, very bad showing of that, and I do think it's probably going to be done. But again, let me know if you think that anything can change, or we somehow win by 3 goals in the 90-minute spell against Atalanta to hopefully take it to extra time, because I think hoping for 4-0, way too optimistic. We're not going back to Anfield. The team now is not in the same stage of development as the team that beat Barcelona was, and at the end of the day, I just don't think some of these individuals are capable at this current moment, confidence-wise, ability-wise, to carry us out against a very solid Italian team in the second leg and beat them by 4 goals. I just don't think it happens. I think your best hope is penalties, and even that, there's no way I'm putting even a quid on that, because it's a guaranteed quid gone as far as I'm concerned. I think we need to accept the idea that there's going to be no European success for Liverpool this season. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry for doubting the team and sorry for doubting the players, but this current crop of players, Liverpool FC, the badge, that's given me reason to believe. This current crop of players, I'm sorry, it's just, there was nothing you shown me there where I can sit there and be optimistic or defend you in any way. Just not a chance. So, yeah, that's going to be it from me. Tell me in the comments down below, as I as that's football. I do deserve it. I've came out on the front line a lot this season. I don't regret it because, again, the players shown me a lot to this point. But today was probably the nail in the coffin in any hopes of probably considerable success this season. It is what it is. We have to live with it. And if I'm wrong, God bless. If not, then I'm not surprised. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later.